Hello and welcome to ClearSpeak English. My name is Avery and I'm thrilled to have you here. Today, we're diving into a topic that is absolutely essential for sounding natural and confident in English. Daily use vocabulary for real-life conversations. Now, you might have spent hours memorizing long lists of advanced vocabulary words, and that's great, but what happens when you meet a native speaker for a coffee? They probably won't be using words like ubiquitous or pusillanimous. They'll be using simple, common, everyday expressions, and that's our focus today. Why is this so important? Because using daily use vocabulary is the key to fluency. It's not about how many difficult words you know, but how well you can use the simple ones to communicate your ideas smoothly and naturally. Mastering these expressions will help you understand native speakers better, and it will make your own speech sound much more authentic. In this lesson, we'll cover common expressions, look at them in context, practice the natural pronunciation, and even go over a few common mistakes to avoid. So grab a notebook and let's get started. Part 1. Common spoken expressions, greetings and small talk. Let's move beyond, hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. While grammatically correct, it sounds a bit robotic. Here are some much more common alternatives. For a casual greeting, you can use how's it going, what's up, or how have you been? These are friendly and relaxed. Now, how do you respond? Instead of just I'm fine, try something like pretty good you, not bad, how about you? Or a very common one, can't complain. This last one is a positive way to say that everything is okay. Let's talk about pronunciation. Native speakers often link words together. How's it going? Can sound like how's it going? The T in it almost disappears. And how have you been often sounds like how have you been? Let's practice. Repeat after me. How's it going? Great, now try. How have you been? To continue the conversation, you can ask, what have you been up to? This is a friendly way of asking what someone has been doing recently. Again, listen to the pronunciation. What have you becomes what are ya? What have you been up to becomes what have you been up to? It's fast and it's natural. Here's a longer, more detailed dialogue to show you how these phrases flow in a real conversation. Pay attention to how the small talk naturally progresses from a simple greeting to a more specific topic. Person A. Hey Sarah, long time no see. How's it going? Person B. Alex, hey, I'm doing great, thanks. Just been trying to keep up with everything. How about you? How have you been? Person A. I can't complain. It's been a busy month, but a good one. So, what have you been up to lately? Anything exciting? Person B. Actually, yes. I've been swamped with work because we're launching a new mobile app. It's been pretty hectic, but it's finally coming together. Besides that, I've been trying to get back into hiking on the weekends. Person A. A new app. That's huge. What does it do? And that's funny you mentioned hiking. I actually just got back from a short trip to the mountains myself. The weather was perfect. Person B. No way. You went to the mountains? I'm so jealous. Which trails did you do? We have to catch up properly soon. I'd love to hear all about it, and maybe we could even go hiking together sometime. Person A. I'd love that. Are you free for a coffee sometime next week? I can show you the pictures. Person B. Definitely. I'm down for that. I'll text you. It was so good to see you. Person A. You too. Talk soon. Notice how they use phrases like long time no see, can't complain, swamped, no way, and I'm down for that. This is what makes the conversation sound natural and engaging. Part 2. Making plans and suggestions. This is something we do all the time. Let's say you want to invite a friend for a coffee. You could say, do you want to get coffee? That's fine. But here are some more natural sounding options. Try these. Are you free for a coffee sometime? Are you up for a coffee? Or my personal favorite, how about grabbing a coffee? These are all low pressure and friendly. Now, how to respond. If you want to say yes, you can say, sure, that sounds great, or a very casual and cool one, I'm down for that, or simply, I'm down. If you can't make it, you could say, oh, I'd love to, but I'm a bit swamped this week. The word swamped is a great vocabulary word, meaning very busy. Or you could say, I can't make it then, but how about next week? Always try to suggest an alternative time if you are interested. Let's focus on pronunciation and intonation here. When you ask a question like, are you free for a coffee? Your intonation should rise at the end to show it's a question. Listen, are you free for a coffee? When you respond positively, like, that sounds great, your intonation is usually higher and more enthusiastic. When you decline politely, your intonation might be a bit lower and more gentle. Oh, I'd love to, but I'm a bit swamped. Let's practice. I'll make a suggestion and you respond positively using I'm down for that. Ready? Hey, how about we catch a movie on Friday night? Excellent. Using phrases like these will make your conversations about plans much smoother. Let's look at another example dialogue that includes rescheduling. Person A. Hey, are you up for grabbing dinner this Friday night? There's a new Italian place that just opened up downtown. Person B. Oh, that sounds amazing. I'd love to, but I'm actually a bit swamped on Friday. I have to finish a report for work. I don't think I'll be able to make it. Person A. No worries at all. I totally get it. We can do it some other time. How about Saturday? Or maybe sometime next week. Person B. Saturday could work. I'm free in the evening. Does 7 p.m. sound good? Person A. Perfect. 7 p.m. on Saturday it is. I'll book a table. Looking forward to it. Person B. Me too. Thanks for understanding. Catch you on Saturday. This is a perfect example of polite negotiation. Person B gives a reason for declining, and Person A offers alternative options, making it easy and friendly to find a time that works for both. Part 3. Agreeing and disagreeing. This is a huge part of any conversation. Let's start with strong agreement. Instead of just saying I agree, you can use more emphatic phrases. For example, exactly, totally, for sure, or I couldn't agree more. Another great one is, you can say that again. This phrase doesn't mean you want the person to repeat themselves. It means you strongly agree with what they said. Disagreeing can be tricky. In English-speaking cultures, it's often important to be polite and indirect when you disagree. Instead of saying, I disagree, or you're wrong, which can sound harsh, try these softer approaches. You can say, I see your point, but, or that's a fair point, however, or I'm not so sure about that. These phrases show that you respect the other person's opinion before you present your own. For example, I see your point that the book was a bit slow, but I really enjoyed the character development. Pronunciation tip. When you agree strongly, the stress is on the key word. I couldn't agree more, or totally. When you disagree politely, your tone is often more moderate and thoughtful. I'm not so sure about that. The tone is just as important as the words. Part 4. Expressing feelings and opinions. Being able to share how you feel or what you think is vital. Let's start with opinions. A great phrase to introduce your opinion is, to be honest, or in my opinion. For a more casual feel, you can use I reckon, which is common in both British and American English, or I guess. For example, I reckon it's going to rain later, or, to be honest, I think the first movie was better. Now let's talk about expressing feelings. Instead of just happy or sad, let's learn some more descriptive phrases. If you are extremely happy, you can say, I'm over the moon, or I'm on cloud 9. For example, I got the job, I'm over the moon. If you're feeling tired or a bit sick, you can say, I'm feeling a bit under the weather. This is a very common idiom. It means you're not feeling well, but it's usually not serious. I think I'll stay home tonight. I'm feeling a bit under the weather. And remember our word swamped for being busy? You can also say, I'm snowed under, or I have a lot on my plate right now. These phrases create a vivid image of being overwhelmed with work. Learning these idioms and expressions as chunks of language is the best way to remember them. Don't try to analyze every single word. Just learn the whole phrase, like under the weather, and the context to use it in. Part 5. Common mistakes to avoid. Now that we've learned some great new phrases, let's make sure we're using them correctly by avoiding a few common pitfalls. Mistake number 1. Being too formal. Many learners use very formal textbook language in casual situations. For example, saying, "to whom it may concern" when speaking to a friend, or saying, "I am in agreement with your statement." A native speaker would just say, "I agree," or "totally." So always think about the context. Is it a formal email or a casual chat with a friend? Mistake number 2, direct translation from your native language. This is a big one. Many expressions don't translate word for word. For instance, in some languages you might say, "I have 25 years." In English, you must say, "I am 25 years old." Similarly, you don't make a photo, you take a photo. Always learn expressions as whole phrases to avoid these kinds of errors. Mistake number 3, misunderstanding the nuance or tone. Some words can have very different meanings depending on the tone of voice. A classic example is the word whatever. If someone asks pizza or pasta and you say whatever with a smile, it means either one is fine with me. But if you say it with a dismissive, annoyed tone, whatever, it means I don't care and I'm annoyed. Tone is crucial, so listen carefully to how native speakers use these words. All right, amazing work so far. Now it's time for our final section, practice and recap. I'll give you a situation, and I want you to think about which phrase from our lesson would be a good fit. I'll pause to give you some thinking time. Situation 1. You run into a friend you haven't seen in a few weeks. What's a natural way to greet them and ask what they've been doing? You could say, "Hey, how have you been? What have you been up to? Great job." Situation 2. Your colleague says, "I think this has been our most successful project ever." You agree completely. What's a strong way to show your agreement? You could say, "I couldn't agree more," or "you can say that again." Situation 3. A friend invites you to a party on Saturday, but you are very busy with work. How can you politely decline? A perfect response would be, "Oh, thanks for the invite. I'd love to, but I'm really swamped with work this weekend." Fantastic job. You're already sounding more natural. So, let's do a quick recap. Today, we've learned essential vocabulary for real-life conversations. We covered casual greetings and small talk, phrases for making plans and suggestions, polite ways to agree and disagree, and natural ways to express your feelings and opinions. We also looked at the importance of pronunciation and avoiding common mistakes. The most important takeaway is this: practice. Try to use one or two of these new phrases in a conversation this week. The more you use them, the more natural they will become. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn. Thank you so much for joining me today at ClearSpeak English. If you found this lesson helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next lesson. And for a little extra practice, leave a comment below with your favorite expression that you learned today. This is Avery from ClearSpeak English, helping you speak with confidence. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.